What's good, YouTube? Slender Revolution X here, coming to you guys today with my updated Sylvan deck profile. Basically, I updated this. Been playing it for a while for a couple formats, just kind of casually. But I wanted to give you guys an updated version past Millennium Pack. I kind of did something fun with it where I threw in the Egyptian God, Ra Complex kind of strategy into it. Like I said, this is more of a non-competitive deck. It's really just for fun. I've always really liked Sylvans. I've always liked the excavation mechanic. And when the true name came out, cut from the Millennium Pack that said excavate top card if you call it right, you know, the true name came out, which is declare card name, excavate the top card. If it's called correctly, add it to your hand, special summon a Egyptian God from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. And basically that just allowed... And basically, I just thought that maybe fit the best in the Sylvan deck. I wanted to test out with the new Immortal Phoenix and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. It's a lot of fun. And if you guys are interested in finding something that isn't Cosmo or BA or Phantom Knights or Blue Eyes or something, you know, something different, I really suggest taking this deck and taking a look at it. Other than that, guys, let's jump right into it. Alrighty, guys, so here is my Sylvan Quasar Ra. Really fun to play, really kind of explosive deck. Like I said, I've been playing Sylvans for a while. Ever since they were released pretty much in the Mega Pack, and I was able to get everything at a pretty fair price, because when they were big, I didn't see the value in buying them as a deck, because the whole centric idea of the deck was essentially like you really needed Soul Charge to make the deck effective. And I only saw Soul Charge getting limited, so, and me not being the most incredible competitive player, I was like, you know what, let's hold off on getting the deck. So let's get into it. We'll start off with the monsters. Obviously, you're going to go 6 big trees. They're just your powerhouses of the deck. Not as great as they used to be back in the day. There's a lot of big monsters out there nowadays, but these guys can really set your plays off. The 3 Hermitry, obviously, draw power, and the special summon power of Sage Coil is really, really great. Then, big thing in the deck is the 3 Lone Fire. They get you your big trees, they get you your pieces, allow for the Quasar plays, things like that. Just a really great card in any plant deck. 2 Peacekeepers. You don't want to draw this, but the reason I run 2 is it's really an effective tool to make big boards, and it allows you... And playing 2 allows you to continue to do that even if you draw 1. Onto the one-ofs of monsters, we have the 1 Rose Lover, just another good key card. The 1 Dandelion, you really need it. It's not great by itself, but you need it to make the Quasar plays. 1 Martial Leaf for monster removal. The tuners, we got Glow Up and Spore. The 1 Princess Sprout, the 1 Cherub Sprout, the 1 Komashrumu for spell trap removal, and last but not least, the big 3, we have Winged Dragon of Ra, Immortal Phoenix, and the Sphere. The new card that came out, Millennium Pack, the true name, allows you to really abuse this, and, you know, like I said, it's good in Sylvans because this is the deck that effectively can set up the top card of your deck, or, you know, you excavate a lot in this deck, so it allows those plays. So that's it for monsters. We have 3 Sylvan Charity, really key card in the deck, arguably one of the best draw cards ever made, in my opinion. 2 of the Super Solar Nutrients. In this deck, I just wanted to speed up getting to Lone Fire, and there's a lot of 1 and 2 stars in this deck, so it allows good use of Super Solar Nutrient. Only 2 Miracle Fertilizer. I chose only 2 because this is a good turn 2 card. Not a great card to open with, and opening with multiples kind of blows, so... Went with 2. 2 of the true name allows you to not only add a card, not only replace yourself if done right, but you also then get to special summon a Ra from your deck. And then even if you need to set up like a Peacekeeper play where you can stack the Peacekeeper and then you just call anything wrong, this is essentially a 1 card excavate. I mean, this can easily become excavate the top card of your deck. So I really enjoy having this card. It's really exciting. 2 left arm offerings. Essentially, with the limitation of Soul Charge, I wanted another way to get to Quasar turn 1, and doing these allows me to search that Soul Charge. And really all you need is the 1 Lone Fire anyway, so 1 Lone Fire and this is a Quasar. 2 Mount Sylvanias. 3's too many, 2's just right. You really want to have it, but then again, you don't want to draw multiples because it limits your turn 1 plays. 1 Foolish Burial, just a good way to send cards to the graveyard, things like Glow Up Bulb or Spore, or a Big Tree if you have a Rose Lover, or a Big Tree if you have like a Fertilizer turn 1 or something like that. It's just a really good tool to have in the deck. Only 1 Terraforming. I chose this over running the 3rd Sylvania just because it's deck trim rather than having dead cards in your hand, which I enjoy. The 1 Upstart, because nowadays we can only run 1. The 1 Soul Charge, which is the big powerhouse of the deck. This really, really optimizes your plays. This card's really awesome. I do love that card. And last but not least, we have the traps, and all I do is I just run 2 Solemn Scoldings because I'm trying to open up really powerful turn 1 plays. A Quasar in this is a really, really good board. You're essentially getting 2 negations off the board from the get-go on your opponent's turn. And, it's just a really good power card. And I like it more than Strike in this deck just because I don't want to have to run Strike and then multiple other traps and stuff. Like, this is just your 1 card out to almost anything. So, that's it for the main deck. I think it's 41. Might be 40, I'm not exactly sure. But we'll go on to the extra deck. The extra deck, you have the 2 High Arbiters. Just a really, really strong Sylvan monster. Allows for serious excavation plays. And you can do a lot of stuff if you get this card's effect off well. Then the 1 Draco Sack. These are my only 7s in this deck. Just because you really don't make 7s a ton. Essentially, it's just either going to be 2 Sage Coils or you're going to have Sage Coil and a Sprout. So I really didn't want to take up a lot of space in the extra deck that is very limited anyway, on just putting in 7s that I might not ever use. On to the 8s, we have 1 Alcé, who's really, really good. 1 Giant Grinder, still a good card in the game today. Just the multiple destruction per turn is pretty powerful in my opinion. The 1 Felgrand, just another big card that you can make, just allows you to make good established turn 1 boards. And a good 8 in general. And the 1 Heart Harbinger, same thing. It's kind of just like you kind of pick and choose between Felgrand and Hope Harbinger. It's a lot of what you're going to play and what you're playing against, and what else you have set up on your board. So that's all the exceeds I have. Like I said, it's very, very tight because of the Quasar build of this deck. You don't really have a lot of extra deck space. I mean, you guys will see right now how many Synchro monsters I have. So, Alright, so we have the 1 Formula, your level 2. I have 1 Herald, there's a good combo between Spore and Martial Leaf and things like that. This just allows you another negation, and it's a pretty good card if you just have more on your board set up turn 1. 1 Ally Justice Catastor. I like this more than Armades right now. It's a 5. You generally not going to go into it and battle anything. It's just a synchro up way to get to Quasar. It's just your other 5. And then your other 5 is TG Hyper Librarian. Just pretty standard for any kind of synchro deck is to have this in here. I mean, it just allows you to draw cards. And now on to the 8s. I have 1 Stardust Dragon. Just stops mass removal. Things like Regeki and Dark Hole and stuff. I don't want to run into them and have them wreck my big board. So on the off chance that I do get to go into this, oftentimes I do. My other 8 is Colossal Fighter. The reason I put this in here, it was between this or Scrap Dragon, just for the fact of Scrap Dragon is a 1 card removal. It's essentially your Diamond Direwolf, and you don't have to commit a lot to the board to use it. And then Colossal Fighter. And the reason I chose Colossal Fighter is Maxi's kind of running rampant. And if you're going against, say, like Cosmo and they manage to drop a Maxi on you and still have the Dark Destroyer, you can run out their deck running into Dark Destroyer. I think all you need is like 4,200 life points at least left. So this allows you to just, it's gimmicky, yes, but it's a way to steal wins, and Colossal Fighter is really not terrible to begin with, so I really enjoy running him. I haven't ran into that situation at all, but the day it is, it's going to be super rewarding. The one Shooting Star Dragon, you don't really make this by itself a lot. The opportunities are there, but its effect of if something is destroyed, you can negate it or whatever, gets used very rarely, just because it's not like a huge targeting, destroying kind of thing. Stuff's generally getting like banished or returned or stuff like that. I mean, or just ran over outright. So he's not as effective, but he is a good card when your Quasar dies. And last but not least, obviously Quasar, just a huge beefy boss monster. He's been power creeped a little bit in the game today. There's just some crazy cards out there right now, but he's still, like, if you can get him on turn 1, it's a problem. He's a problem card. But that's it for the deck. As I said, and here's my 2 tokens. Side deck, I never really show side decks because side decks are always not necessarily optional, but they're up to you. I'll leave that up to the deck builder themselves, because it also depends on what you're playing. It depends on what's in the meta. It depends on a lot of different things, what you're going to play in your side deck. So I always like to leave that up to the builder themselves. But this is the deck, the Sylvan Quasar Ra build. It's really exciting. I encourage you guys to play it on Dueling Network or Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro or whatever. It's just a lot of fun. Being able to use the Egyptian god effectively. It's probably the most that you'll ever be able to use one without and have it be semi-competitive. It's just interesting to see, and with all the new Ra released, I wanted to find a way to make something that could take advantage of that. And the only thing I could think of with the true name being a card was put this in Sylvan, see how it works out, and it's been pretty exciting so far. So I'd like to say thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And as always, guys, remember to subscribe to join the revolution today. This is Slender Revolution X signing out, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy.